We are close enough to live that I'm going with live. What's up, everybody? It is Friday, June 7th. You know what that means. Fridays are Yahoo days, and we are going to be digging into the Yahoo slate. I am joined, as always, on Fridays, although not next Friday, by Jake Hari and the boss man, Alex Baker. What's going on, guys?
It's good.
Yeah, it's going well. I got in that rig-free tournament this morning, so I'm ready to talk some Yahoo today.
I didn't get into it today. Is it going to be all right if I talk about it, or is this going to cause some problems again this Friday?
Yeah. You might just want to end the stream. Me and Alex can take it from here.
My apologies. My apologies on that one. Before we do get started, I do want to put out a little bit of a plug for Yahoo. The link has been dropped into chat. But if you check out Emacs' article, there will be a link to sign up for Yahoo. If you do sign up using that link, use the promo code AWESEMO. You'll get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. You could use those $30 to get in something like this. Yahoo has posted their golf tournaments for next week's U.S. Open. They're running a $6K guaranteed $3 entry, 10 max field, no management fee. So a lot like the MLB tournament that we've been seeing over the past, 2 weeks. But they also have a 10K to first, 50K guaranteed, $25 buy-in. It's still a 10 max. Really excellent contest structure. I'm saying that. I know I'm not in it yet. Don't let that be a problem to you guys. I will be in this contest for PGA next week. Two fantastic contests to get into. 10K to first, normal payout structure, 5K to second, 2K, 1K. It trickles down. You're only getting 10 entries. You're not going to be running into 150 different lineups, which are just guaranteed to print you money, from what I understand from our lovely YouTube chat right now. Just do it. Take the link from Emacs' article, sign up, use the promo code AWESEMO, and then put all 10 entries into the no management fee. You can't beat it. So go check it out, guys.
I mean, with 150 entries, you're guaranteed to win, right? So, I have so much problem playing on Yahoo with only 10 entries, and all the other max entry guys just stand no chance. So this is your chance to really take those guys on and win the top prize.
Yeah, basically. I just always assume that when I enter 150, I'm just treating this as like a digital ATM machine. Where I put 150 entries in, I press a couple buttons, and then all of a sudden I just make money. It's fascinating.
Exactly
if it were 149, I don't know if I could get there, but that 150, whew, boy, does that make it just simple. We ready to talk some baseball today?
Definitely. One thing I'll throw out there is our projections are free. My projections are free today, so if you haven't become a premium member of the site, you can use those to build your lineups on Yahoo and follow along with us.
There you go. If you head to awesemo.com, if you want to find those projections, find the MLB dropdown, head to MLB DFS projections, and what do you know? There they are, updated 3 minutes ago by the boss man. Let's grab them right now, put them into the sheet, and we'll take a look and see where we stand. We've got a heck of a pitching slate today. Pricing is a little bit more normal here, but let's start by talking a little bit about pitching. And we need to start with two guys. We have Garrett Cole right now at $60. We have Jake DeGrom at $46. Garrett Cole coming out as the top projected pitcher in Alex's model by quite a large amount. Jake DeGrom coming in second here. Both guys expected to be owned north of 50%. And even just seeing that Cole is at 51, DeGrom at 59, that implies that you're getting a little bit of overlap, too, in the public. I'll throw it to you first, Jake. Do you have a preference between Cole and DeGrom tonight, or would you want to get both?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to get both. If I had to choose just one, I think it would be tough to not end up on DeGrom just because of the discount you're getting with him. Both obviously phenomenal pitchers, but man, you already have some softer pricing on Yahoo. I'm fine. So you can fit in Cole pretty easily, even at, what is he at, $60? You say?
Cole is 60, yes.
$60. DeGrom is what, 46? Yeah. So, I mean, that's like the difference between a min salary player and on Yahoo today. So that makes a little bit of a difference for me. Obviously, ownership can sway that. But yeah, I think I would give the edge to DeGrom just because of the point per dollar basis there. What about you, Alex?
I have to agree. I mean, most weeks we've been seeing DeGrom is in the high 50s, so it's really surprising to see him at 46 with a favorable matchup versus the Rockies at home. So I think he should be probably priced at like 57, 58 or whatever, but 46 that's like a huge bargain, and I think it's pretty hard to fade him.
Yeah, he's priced down in the in the entire industry today. I don't entirely know why, but that seems to be what's happening. I mean, both guys are fantastic pitchers. You know, they're top 5 in baseball guys, so the ownership that they're garnering is completely reasonable to me. We've got a couple other guys that are getting some ownership, whether that's Andrew Heaney at $41, Brandon Woodruff at 44, Clayton Kershaw at 52, the second most expensive pitcher on the slate. We'll throw it right back to you, Alex. If we're ignoring Cole and DeGrom, since we all know that they're just fantastic, what's standing out to you as possible value for a second starter on Yahoo?
So I think 2 guys you gotta give a pretty close look at are Kershaw on the road versus San Francisco. I mean,
Yeah.
San Francisco is a pretty anemic offense, and they're tied for the lowest team total on today's slate. So that's pretty appealing. And the other pitcher that's projected to have a really sick matchup is Mike Soroka versus the Marlins. And on Yahoo, he's priced up a little bit to compensate for that, so he's like 50.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit too high because let me pull up his numbers here. He only has 22% strikeout on the year. So if for 50, you probably want like a strikeout percent of like 26 or something, and the price tag's pretty high, but the matchup's pretty good. So he'd be a good like contrarian option compared to DeGrom, Kershaw, and Cole.
Interesting. Jake, what are you seeing? Any interest in any other guys? Any interest in Soroka?
Yeah, I think Soroka's. I mean, the matchup's obviously great against Miami, although they've been world beaters for the last couple of weeks. It seems like as they've gone on this little bit of a win streak here. One guy is like a pure pivot, just like a really talented arm, is Domingo Germán, a guy that can strike out a lot of guys in a limited amount of innings. The problem with him is, unlike DeGrom, you're a little bit worried about how deep he can go. So maybe that's a pivot that you can get at a fraction of the ownership of DeGrom. Outside of that, like value guys, maybe Tyler Mahle, and Stroman are guys that are sticking out to me as decent values in that 30+ tier.
Okay.
And then we'll probably get here, but like Homer Bailey and Jerome Green seem to be a little bit underpriced as well. Okay.
Yeah, I have a guy I want to get some thoughts on from the boss here. If I look at your projections, I have them sorted now I have the pitchers sorted by salary. Starting at Matt Boyd at $43. The highest projection below Matt Boyd is currently going to Michael Pineda at $26, $1 above the minimum. Talk to me a little bit about how you feel you would use Pineda here with that cheap price tag for Yahoo.
Yeah, that's an insane price tag. I mean, wait. I'm having some issue with my spreadsheet here.
That's fine.
Okay.
Detroit.
It stands out to me when I'm looking at this and looking at your numbers, thinking he's going to be a guy that has to be very popular. He's also projected for 0 ownership.
Was he not projected to start today or something?
It was up in the air up until probably like an hour or two ago.
So I think what happened is probably like Yahoo thought someone else was starting, and that's why he has that $26 price tag, which is just way too low.
Right.
And I mean, a matchup versus the Tigers is always pretty appealing. He isn't a great strikeout pitcher, but the projected lineup for the Tigers strikes out like above average rate. So He's pretty hard if you want like a bunch of expensive bats. He's pretty hard to not fit in there.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if we see his ownership rise as we move on through the day, because if he is completely unowned, I feel like he's kind of a no-brainer for if you're playing 10 max, 2-3 lineups at least.
Yeah, actually, I'm crunching on Yahoo or on Fantasy Cruncher, and they don't have Pineda even in the pool yet, so that's probably why he flew a little bit under the radar for me, but he's probably the top pitcher at that price.
Okay. If you refresh Alex, I think they just put him in.
Oh, they did. Okay,
last couple minutes, I think maybe since we've been on. So, yeah. So I'm sure he's going to project out pretty well for you, wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah. I mean, I have him projected for 15, which would suggest his price tag should be more around like 40 than 26.
Wow.
Yeah, he's projected for 0.2 of a point more than Andrew Heaney at $41, and Andrew Heaney's garnering 27% ownership. So if you're willing to pay for that sort of projection at 41, I can only imagine how often you're willing to roster a guy at 26. He's a guy that's been standing out for me as well. So speaking of Heaney, just looking at your numbers, seems like you're not a monster Heaney fan today, and I'm curious what is putting you there. What are the negatives that are standing out to you for Heaney? He's made 2 starts this year. Strikeout rate just absolutely through the roof for 2019. What are you thinking for Heaney today, Alex?
Yeah, I do notice his strikeout rate is 44% this year.
Yeah, it's been staggering.
I might have to go through and change my projections. I usually do that later in the day, but I think he only started like 1 or 2 games or something.
Yeah, he's been back for this will be his 3rd start of the season.
3rd start.
Yeah.
So I might have to tweak those numbers, but let me pull up his overall numbers on Fangraphs and see. Because obviously 44% is kind of that's not really like indicative of how good he's going to be.
Oh, you don't think he's going to maintain the striking out every other batter?
So he did start once in AAA, and he struck out 62% of the batters he faced in that too. So, like, man, this guy apparently just figured it out.
He's mowing people down in 2019.
Yeah. But so, the crazy thing is his okay, I guess this weird. His FIP is 4.8, but his xFIP is 2.6. So I don't know what that means. Obviously, FIP isn't that good, but so yeah, I think that he probably has upped his game a decent amount from the 24% strikeouts we saw last year. And let's see.
If I remember correctly, strikeout rate tends to stabilize relatively quickly as far as pitching stats go.
That's true, yeah.
Swinging strike rate also. I mean, I know, Alex, you don't look a ton at that, I don't think, but obviously you can get a bigger sample with swinging strike rate. It might be some people would argue it's indicative of future strikeouts. But one thing about Heaney so far, like the swinging strike numbers, I was looking at them just now. They're ridiculous, 15% and almost 24% in his 2 starts in the majors this year. But you look at the Mariners strikeout versus lefties, their active roster at 27%, and then the Rangers are 11th in that category at 24.7%. So 2 good matchups, but he did take advantage of them, it looks like.
Okay. Can't find that regression rate. I know it's around here somewhere on Fangraphs, but not important right now. Any other pitchers that we think that we need to touch on right now? Anybody we're missing? Anybody slipping through the cracks?
Should we talk about any of the punt guys? Is there a favorite one for either of you guys? Pomeranz. I know we mentioned Pineda, but like Homer Bailey, Ivan Nova, guys like that. Any of these guys you're targeting heavily, Alex?
I think it's just got to be Pineda, right?
Yeah, I mean, Pineda's the obvious choice. Pomeranz has a pretty tough matchup versus the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, it looks like they actually are a good strikeout matchup, but they have an implied total of 4.9, which is pretty high. So I think it'd be pretty hard to justify going there over Pineda, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
I don't really see much at the bottom that I would be willing to take a flyer on. I think the lowest that I would be going is probably to Heaney, and then Pineda.
Okay.
Nobody else getting any real ownership that I think that we need to touch on. Nobody else appears to be slipping through the cracks at all. I think we could start talking about, maybe building some lineups and see the way the sort of roster construction works. What do you guys think?
I like it.
Bingo. All right, let's pull back up the Yahoo contests, and I will. Oh, this is golf. So you guys ready to pick 6 golfers for the U.S. Open next week?
Oh yeah, I've already done all my research for that. So
I figured as much. Don't go by the golfers that I took this week. That much I can tell you.
Well, the problem is, like, how are you going to know who's had good recent form until this tournament is concluded?
I know who doesn't have good recent form in DFS golf. This guy.
Me either, Josh. So
yeah, so, fantastic stuff. Okay, so we've got $200 to spend to build a lineup. I say we take a look, and I assume we want to grab one of Cole or DeGrom first. I can't imagine we're trying to start with a 2-pitcher lineup other than those guys. Would you look to be starting with Cole or DeGrom, Alex?
I think you probably want to go Cole Pineda or DeGrom Pineda, like as like a first lineup, because that just gives you like all that flexibility you want to pay up on some bets.
So I went Cole Pineda to start. That's $86, which gives us $114 to fill out our final 8 spots, or $14 per player. That's a pretty healthy amount for Yahoo. I have a feeling that we're going to be able to get to a really nice stack and one-offs that funnel out pretty nicely. If I take a look at our projected hitter ownership right now, the chalk stacks coming from Yahoo right now: Reds, Oakland A's, Toronto Blue Jays, Brewers, and Phillies. Those are the top 5 in cumulative ownership. Is there a team that you see standing out most? Is the top stacks tool open or updated right now?
Yeah, it is.
I'm just downloading it right now.
Alex, where do we want to start from a hitting stack?
I'm a little perplexed because, let's see, maybe this didn't update properly on my thing, because this says Milwaukee is supposed to be the highest owned stack. Is that? Let me see if I can update that.
Have we had an ownership update recently?
No.
Let's
see here. I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't think Milwaukee would be the highest owned stack. I mean, Shaw's up there. It looks like. But like everyone else is 10% or below, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Votto's at 21, Puig 21, Winker 15, Barnhart 11. So yeah, there's more to the Reds right now, unless I have some sort of old ownership projections.
That's weird. I'm not sure what's going on with my sheet here. Then let me try to figure that out.
I pasted over it just in case.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't have. Anyway, I think today is weird because there aren't like big team totals at all. Milwaukee has the highest at 5.9. There's a number in the like 5 to 5.5 range. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee is the top stack today, because you just have that salary flexibility to fit them in and maximize your projection by going like Pineda, Cole, and then like some of the Milwaukee bats. So I think that's probably popular, but a 6-team total isn't anything to really write home about on a 14-game slate. So if they're going to be that popular, I probably won't be on them quite as much.
That makes sense to me. So who's the team that you think that we should be starting with? Who's sort of slipping through the cracks for you?
You want me to go?
Either way. The floor is yours.
If these are close, maybe Atlanta. I know it's not a great park, 4.4 implied run total. But when a team with, Cunha, Freeman, Donaldson, and secondary pieces like you've got Flowers at $7, at a pretty bad catch position as it usually is, and they're only getting like 1% of the ownership share right now. It looks like that's the stack that I'm interested in.
What about you, Alex? How do you feel about Atlanta today?
So it looks like they're only 1% on, so I like that a lot.
Okay, let's start with Atlanta. I will pull this back up. Let's find Atlanta in the game picker, make this a little bit easier. Atlanta getting a date with Miami, who is, not great.
Yeah, to put it lightly. And the roof's going to be open, it looks like, in Miami, unless I'm seeing something different. So it's 85 degrees. It's Miami, so I'm assuming it's humid as well. It looks pretty good. And you got Urena, who's got issues with lefty bats. So I think it's a really nice spot for free. And obviously you got a ton of other good hitters on the Braves.
All right, let's start filling some of these guys in. So I assume we're going to want Acuna, Freeman, Donaldson. I can't imagine we're going to go any other direction there, right? If we're building a six-man stack for the Braves.
Would think so, yeah.
Okay. Donaldson only at $13 is pretty appealing. Ronald Acuna being the leadoff hitter as well. So now we've got a first baseman in, we've got a third baseman in, we've got an outfielder in. We need catcher, second, short, 2 outfielders. We have $60 remaining for 5 spots, so $12 a player. What else? What stands out to you from Atlanta, Alex? Who would you want to make sure that you're getting in there?
So you guys can follow along with me at home with these projections. Acuna always is amazing fantasy play because he hits for power and steals bases. So I really like getting him in there. Always projects well. Freddie Freeman also, he's like the cleanup guy for Acuna, so I like that. Dansby Swanson is kind of that guy that's been on a tear, and he's super high price compared to his skill level, but not as much as Austin Riley, who is 27.
Yeah,
which is insane. I'd probably skip Austin Riley, and then we get to pick 6 of the other 7 batters. So I think one I might leave off is let's see. You could either leave off Swanson or leave off Markakis, and I think you probably want to get Flowers in there because catcher, I think there's a little bit more advantage to stacking up than other positions.
Agreed. All right, so I added Flowers. So we've got Flowers, Freeman, Donaldson, Acuna in right now. Seems like we're going to be getting to Ozzie Albies as an $8 second baseman.
Yep, that would seem logical.
And then the piece is, do we prefer Swanson or Markakis?
Let's see. I feel like shortstop is pretty shallow today. I'm going to check on that and see what I had. At least outside of the top couple guys like Mondesi and Lindor. But I guess you got Bogarts in there. I don't know. There's probably a ton of other outfielders we can have.
Yeah, it's probably easier to find a cheaper outfielder.
Yeah.
Right now we have $45 for shortstop and 2 outfielders, so $15 a piece. So are we better off spending $9 on Nick Markakis or $17 on Swanson? It's probably $9 on Markakis, right? If we do that, we have $18 average price for a one-off shortstop, a one-off outfielder. That feels like a pretty good amount of money to find whatever we need.
That's true. Can I nominate a guy for shortstop?
Have at it, man. Who do you want? Mondesi.
Another guy that fits in the Acuna mold in that he steals bases and hits for power. Probably a little bit overpriced to some people.
Yeah.
He is 22 on Yahoo today. So he's right up there with the highest price shortstops.
I was hoping you were going to pitch Trey Turner, but
why Turner?
Just because he's cheap.
Where's he at?
I just minimized it. He's 16.
That's pretty good. I don't mind that. I mean, we could try it with both if we want to just do a 2v2.
Yeah, we could do that as well. Alex, any preferences at shortstop for a one-off option?
Let's see. I just fixed the top stack thing, so we can look at that.
Oh, nice.
And then shortstop. Let's see. We have 18, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the highest
Well,
projected
we have
one.
$36 total for shortstop and outfield.
Okay. Well, definitely like Mondesi then. He's the highest projected shortstop based on my projections. And he's about tied with Bregman, but $5 cheaper. So I think he makes a great one-off.
Boom. So now we have a $14 outfield spot remaining.
Nice.
Which is plenty of money for outfielders.
So since we're going to like a chalky or a non-chalky lineup, we could I believe this guy is just crazy underpriced. Yeah, I mean, if we want to put some money on the table, we could just go with Nelson Cruz, who's at $9. I think one of the most underpriced players on the slate, but especially on Yahoo at $9. I don't know. I mean, take your pick here. Like Benintendi is right there. We could get another leadoff hitter, possibly like Derek Fisher.
Yeah,
a guy that Alex's numbers always like, Eloy Jimenez. Yeah, there's a ton of options in this range here. I don't know. You guys choose.
I think that we don't have to worry too much about being contrarian because we picked the contrarian stack, so it makes sense to go with the highest projected guy.
Okay.
I have that as Derek Fisher at 12.
Okay.
He's not guaranteed to be in the lineup really, but I think he's been leading off a few times and he gets a bunch of stolen bases, hits for decent power. So I think that he makes a nice GPP play, especially given the matchup.
There we go. Garrett Cole, Michael Pineda, a 6-man Brave stack of Tyler Flowers, Freddie Freeman, Ozzy Albies, Josh Donaldson, Ronald Acuna, Nick Markakis, one off Adalberto Mondesi, one off Derek Fisher. We got $2 left over. Go buy a burger at Burger King. Can't beat it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish you could spend that extra money on fast food. That would make my life so much better.
Oh, you and me both. Well, it would probably make my life worse, if I'm being honest. I don't think that I want to try to save a couple bucks in my DFS lineup just so I can go get another quesarito from Taco Bell.
Well, you gotta save $10, and then maybe you can go out and get some gourmet Chipotle.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
You were. I spoke my own language with the quesarito. That's the gold standard of fast food.
Is that similar to the Crunchwrap Supreme? I haven't been there in a while.
So the quesarito is going to be a burrito wrapped in a cheese quesadilla.
Oh wow!
So it's a very like creamy, cheesy outside with your standard burrito issue. Their stuff coming on in the center. It's fantastic.
That's pretty good, but it doesn't sound like it has that mix of crunchy and soft shells that I need on my Mexican food. So I gotta go with the Crunchwrap still.
So here's the hack for that. The key to Taco Bell is ordering on the app. I don't want to say anything too bad, but it's not the best experience to try to order your food at Taco Bell. If you order on the app, you can fully customize everything you want to eat, which means you could add Fritos strips to your burrito, which will give you that added crunch on the inside. This is not my first rodeo, guys. I'm the guy that has the pizza bites behind him.
Yeah. Well, no need to go south of the border now. We got Taco Bell.
Exactly. I think it'd be really interesting to take a peek at how this lineup goes together. If you remove Garrett Cole and add in Jake DeGrom at 46, which creates a situation. Just if I have this lineup as we have it, we would have $16 left over. So do we want to try to do a DeGrom Pineda build with a different stack?
Yeah, let's do it. I think
now that we have the top stacks tool updated.
One stack that jumps out at me now that I updated that is the Brewers actually. I had them at 13% ownership, which was wrong. So now it's correct at 8%. and they have a 9% chance of being the top stack and a 1% chance of being top value. So I like that because I think a lot of people aren't going to wind up there optimizing just because the value isn't that great, but they still have the best potential on the day to score the most runs.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of a massive number, right?
Yeah.
I don't really understand. So I guess what would the average be?
So with 14 teams, the average is about 100 divided by 14, which is. Oh wait, sorry,
yeah, we have 28.
Teams.
So
that'd be
3.5%
is the average. So they have about 2.5 times average chance of being the top stack. Not the craziest number we've seen by any means, but it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Short of a Coors slate, it doesn't get much better than that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I liked the piece that you mentioned about how often they're the top value, because that is really, generally speaking, going to be the driving force in the optimizer. And if you're seeing that high ability to be the best scoring stack, but such a low value, they might be the team that's not coming up as much because, optimally speaking, they don't get there first.
Yeah, exactly. I ran a crunch with all the teams in 6 stacks, and Milwaukee was about the middle of the pack as far as percentage it came up.
There you go.
So I think they might be a little sneaky, which is crazy because they're the highest projected team on the day.
Let's build ourselves a Brewers stack, which I'm pretty sure Jake and I are certainly down for. Jake, a big Christian Yelich truther last year. Now
I'll take that. It's better than being like a Austin Dirks truther.
You were on the Yelich. You got on the Yelich bandwagon. I don't want to say bandwagon because he's just fantastic, and it's not like he wasn't good before. But you were on early last year.
I felt like that was pretty early on that, but yeah, I mean, it was just in the batted ball profile. Like he was just hammering the ball, like from the start of the season. Like he was just a new hitter. He was like more of a slap hitter, like a guy that would barely get to 20 homers. And then last year, he was just hitting everything in the air really, really hard.
So let's take a look at the Brewers. I've already put Yelich in because we know we're going there. And I assume that we're going to be going to Travis Shaw because he's $9 and it makes this a little bit more affordable.
Yeah, I think he's too good of a hitter to be $9. So that's a ridiculous price.
Especially at third base, too.
Yeah.
So let's start filling this out. If I'm looking at the projections, I mean, lots of guys just projected somewhere in the 9s. So guys like Low Kane, Ryan Braun, Eric Thames, since they have prices in the teens, I assume they're going to be a little bit more interesting than the Moustakas and Grandals of the world, although Grandal being a catcher does make that a little bit different. Anybody that stands out that we know, anybody that you guys definitely want in?
So we have Yelich. Did you say we have Grandal?
I put Yelich and Shaw in right out of the gate. Shaw because of his ridiculous $9 price. Yelich because, well, he's Christian Yelich.
Okay, so that takes out Moustakas then, because we obviously can't have 2 third basemen.
Bingo.
Alex, what do you think? I mean, we could build it like this, but what do you think about having Moustakas in there? Because when people do build a crew stack, because they don't already grade out as good value, they're likely to avoid Moustakas, and he's projected to hit 3 spots higher than the order than Shaw.
Yeah, I think let's see the ownership projection. So Moustakas is 7% and Shaw is 28%. So I think it makes a lot of sense to go for Moustakas because that means 4 out of 5 stacks that have Milwaukee are going to have Shaw compared to him.
Bingo, got it. So Yelich in, Moustakas in, which means we're going to need to save a little bit of money. So I assume we're going to want Lorenzo Cain since he leads off.
Yeah.
I think the guy to leave off is clearly Arcia. If obviously we don't have the lineup, but he's $17 and projected to bat at the bottom of the order, and he only has 10% ISO and 30% on base, so not a very good hitter.
More expensive than Trey Turner.
All right, so I have Grandal, Eric Thames, Moustakas, Yelich, and Low Kane in there right now. We have a second base eligibility open. We have shortstop, and then we have an outfielder. I assume we're going to need to go outfield with Ryan Braun.
Yeah, right, because we're just stacking up everyone but so we're stacking up 1 through 6, right?
Yeah.
If we're doing 6 man.
So here's the issue. If we have 6, we're out of money. We only have $9 remaining if we put Ryan Braun in.
Wow.
I think. Wait, did we start off with DeGrom and
This is DeGrom Pineda.
Pineda? I think that if we really want to go chalky at bats, we could even punt both pitcher spots, or not chalky, but like go for the expensive bats. There's some decent pitchers at the low price tier. One guy that we didn't mention yet is I'm having second thoughts now that I see my crunch percentages, but Zach Plesac is 30 going up against the Yankees. Guy with a lot of strikeout potential, but a really tough matchup. So that pretty contrarian, but I could see myself doing that to go pure bats.
Okay. If I slot that in with the current Brewers bats that we have, we would have $25 combined to allocate to a second baseman and a shortstop. We're back in business there.
All right. One guy actually, now that I'm looking at this easier, is Stroman at 34. Much better spot. So I don't think we should be that worried about being contrarian here. So I don't mind going Stroman and Pineda.
All right, Stroman, Pineda in. 6-man stack, Grandal, Thames, Moustakas, Yelich, Kane, Braun. We have $21 remaining for a second baseman and a shortstop combined.
Okay. What this super cheap guy for the Astros was coming up. Don't know if he's going to be in the lineup, but Chapman Mayfield is min salary, so that might be an option. He is shortstop eligible, of course, and then
about Robinson Cano, $8.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's definitely the best overall play without taking into account ownership. That second.
He doesn't hustle first, Alex. How can you sleep at night knowing you're playing a guy that doesn't hustle to first?
Damn, you're right, man. I probably just won't sleep.
And then we have $13 remaining for a shortstop. And just judging based on what I see from your projections, Elvis Andrus looking like the guy that we're going to be using here?
Yeah, I like that. Let me pull up his numbers here.
Since we're already on this Brewers stack that, not a lot of people are going to be on. We're using Marcus Stroman. Yeah. So really anybody that we're using here, ownership is irrelevant.
Andrew's ISO is only 12%, but he steals a few bases. So not like a huge upside guy, but you're paying kind of a bargain bin price tag. So I like it.
And you're getting a shortstop playing in Texas today where runs are supposed to be, or expected to be, plentiful.
Yeah.
That gives us $199 used, 6-man Brewers stack. We're getting different at pitcher, Marcus Stroman, Michael Pineda.
I think this lineup might be a little bit too contrarian, but it's kind of interesting because it shows if you really want to get the expensive batters from your stack, you got to sacrifice like a lot.
Yeah.
That's why people are going to end up with Shaw instead of Moustakas, because this is so much easier to slot in like a good pitcher. But one option we could do instead is only stack up 5 guys, and then maybe we get another value bat in there and get one of the better pitchers.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just about to run a crunch for Milwaukee with 6 guys just to lock in Moustakas to see sort of how it gets there independent of us.
Just like what the optimal is with the man.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a 6-man Brewer stack and just, we'll see where we end up. Let me grab this. Get the projections in. Thought I had them in. Apparently I didn't. We'll change exposures. Let's see where we end up on Brewers. I'm really anxious to see who the 2 pitchers end up being. Wow, that didn't take long at all. Did I not enter that? 6. Milwaukee is the only team checked. Every hitter should... I didn't change my hitter exposure, so I was like, what in the world? It didn't even crunch out 1. I was like, come on, we just built one. It's not that hard. First one up is is DeGrom Pineda, actually. But
Nice.
With Moustakas?
Now, I could have swore I clicked lock Moustakas, but apparently I didn't. So I was wondering why. Great eye, Jake. Okay, now I've got Moustakas in. It still is the first lineup created is DeGrom and Pineda. You get Nelson Cruz and Bobby Cano, so
Nice.
not too shabby there. I'm just shy of 100 now, so once it hits 100, I'm going to resort it, and we'll take a look and see what the prevailing construction is for a 6-man Brewer stack that has Moose Tacos in it.
Yeah,
Right.
just one note, like you might not want to do this now because all these people watching the stream are also going to make a lineup like this. It's going to be super overowned.
There we go. We're changing the industry. So I ran it completely uncapped other than locking Moustakas and getting a 6-man Brewer stack. 100% of the 108 lineups that I made were DeGrom. 94% of them had Pineda. So it's a full-on DeGrom-Pineda combo. Well, basically, we're just looking at different combinations of 2 hitters. Chris Taylor, Nelson Cruz. Bobby Cano, Nelson Cruz. Kipnis Cruz. So if you're getting any sort of theme here. Robinson Cano, Derek Fisher. Fisher, the guy that we used on the first build that we had. But you can get there with a decent pitcher and still get to Mike Moustakas. The ability is there, and you're not taking that big of a haircut. You know, getting Robinson Cano, who's a highly owned second base bat, one of the more efficient bats of the day. I don't mind getting every single lineup with him built with, like, if I lock Cano, I'm happy to get that sort of construction. It's a really good lineup to build, and you're getting one of those top 2 pitchers for the day.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and just one thing I noticed is like the projection. It looks like I'm a little bit behind on the stream, but high 110s, and I think that's like pretty close to like as good as you can get on today's slate. So even though we've determined this lineup is super contrarian, we still have like a pretty solid projection.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Anything else we want to go over for Yahoo for today?
Alex, really quick, you just mentioned 110's like the highest projection. Like, so for Yahoo, like where you mentioned that the lineup we made before with the Braves might be too contrarian. Are you just saying that that's too far away from like the top projection? Where
exactly, yeah.
Okay. So like what would be a range you would want to stick in? So let's say the top projected lineup I got was like 120, a little over 120. Where would you say you would want to get the majority of your lineups in what kind of range?
So I was kind of just eyeballing that Braves one. I don't know what the projection was, but I usually recommend staying within 10 points of like the top projection in today's landscape.
Cool.
Usually trying to get somewhere in the middle there because I find the highest projected lineups are usually a little bit overowned. Whereas you can find like lineups with like pretty good projection and pretty good ownership kind of in that once you start getting like 5 to 10 points below the max, it depends a little bit on how good the chalk is on each day.
And I assume one of the first things that you're doing on a given day is running a crunch completely naked. I don't mean like you personally naked. I mean without any real settings in there to try to figure out, well, what is the score of my optimal so I know what my deviation range should be.
Yeah, I'm really glad we only do videos from the shoulders up here at Osimo.
Me too. I never have pants on.
Yeah, I think that it's really good to set that benchmark. You find out like the optimal lineup, like how owned is it, and how's the projection, and that allows you to compare every other lineup you make to that.
Yeah, so I just quickly ran a crunch of 250 lineups, and all I had on was a 6-man stack. So nothing too crazy. Just what does it look like best if I do that? And I got to a projected score of 126. So that just allows you. You mentioned 10 points, so 10 points on 126 is going to be what, like 8% or something along those lines. You're probably looking to stay somewhere in that percentage range.
I think the 126 is also like unstacked, so it's a little bit harder to compare like a cash lineup to like a GPP lineup because you are making a sacrifice for correlation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's good to know though, like maybe if you run a 5-man crunch and you find the projections are much higher, then you might roll with that, even though you're sacrificing a little bit of an edge in correlation.
There you go. That's a
like
good
that.
point. Gonna hit 2 quick plugs. One, if you go to the Awesemo_com Twitter handle, we're running another giveaway. You can get 3 months worth of Awesemo Plus if you get the closest guess for the total points from Steph Curry and Kawhi Leonard combined tonight for Game 4. Up to 3. Yeah, that's the second time I've done that. It's not up to 3 months of Awesemo.com. You just get 3 months. It's not. There's no ambiguity to it. It's 3 months. It's a $210 value. All you have to do is make your guess on Twitter, retweet this tweet, and then follow the Awesemo_com and Awesemo NBA accounts. I believe there's also an Awesemo MLB account giveaway that I'm supposed to talk about. Oh, it's just the pinned tweet for Yahoo. I know Rinpack reached out earlier today. If you want to check out the Awesemo MLB account, there's a pinned tweet with the direct link to sign up for Yahoo, and it lists the promo code Awesemo where you would get $30 in Yahoo Sports Rewards points if you sign up. Thank you to Yahoo for sponsoring this show. We love talking about them each week. Alex, Jake, anything else that we want to touch on? Anything else that I'm missing?
I'll give one more plug. If you like that Milwaukee stack we just built, please give us a thumbs up. Show your approval.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if there's a stack that you would prefer other than Milwaukee. What do you got, Jake?
No, I was just saying when Alex was asking for likes the other day, they just shot up there. So everyone's what the boss asked for, which is nice to see. But yeah. I like some of the lineups we built there. That was a pretty cool show and good discussion on just overall general theories, I think, for playing on Yahoo.
Any last thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, just about the likes. I find it's most effective to bully people, like, really, really aggressively to get them to give that thumbs up. But yeah, I think we made some pretty viable lineups. I think it'll be interesting to see how the ownership shakes out now that Pineda's in the pool. I think that will change a lot because you can fit in a stack like Milwaukee like way easier. And I think keep an eye on our top stacks and ownership, and that will kind of dictate what you want to do on tonight's slate.
There you go. You heard it straight from the boss. If you want to get anywhere in life, make sure that you bully people into it. Thank you guys for joining us. Like you said, hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel so you get alerts when we go live. I will have the deeper dive guys starting up at 4:45 today for the 14 gamer. Then myself and Jake will be back talking everything live before lock 6 to 7. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back again next Friday for this Yahoo show. No Jake, but it'll be me and Alex breaking it all down. We'll do a real good show without Jake.
I'm sure you will.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We're out of here. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend.